Welcome back to another episode of Spilling the Tea with Dr. Hendrix.
That's me and Gabriel D.
That's me.
And Lava Lee.
That's her.
Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm excited to be diving into a brand new topic, something that actually was not requested, something we came up with on our own. And I think a great way for partners to bond, a low risk sexual activity you can do with new partners. What do you think? What do you think we're talking about today?
I have no idea. No clue.
Well, it's something that you may have been a part of in the past. If not, it'll be an educational journey for you out there. We're going to dive into mutual masturbation,
Cool.
which has a mouthful of interesting words.
Yes.
And when I think of the word masturbation, there's such a taboo around it. We've talked about this before. So excited to expand on this topic and tell some people some things we know about it.
Definitely. We've talked about masturbation before. If you haven't watched the video, please give it a try.
Yeah, look back in the history.
But today we're talking a little bit different. We're talking about the mutual action.
Yes, it's something you would do with a partner. And so are you ready to dive in, partner?
I am ready to dive in. You already know. First, I'm going to ask you the basic.
We got to do the basics.
We got to have the definitions here. And please, can you define what is mutual masturbation to us?
So mutual masturbation is defined as partners either stimulating themselves or each other simultaneously. And so it's a activity you do with someone. You can be on your own and in your own bubble, or you can share your bubble with the person next to you. So it can kind of go both ways there.
Whatever you prefer.
And this activity is often overlooked because I'm not really sure why. And it's really actually something great to consider if you're in a new relationship or trying to explore someone's body or explore your own body. But we'll get into that.
We're going to get into that very shortly. And so how would someone express interest in this option with their partner?
So open discussions with your partner can lead to a more satisfying relationship, not only in general, but sexually, ensuring that you're able to express what things you're interested in and what things you're not interested in. And so I think it's a great opportunity to have that conversation, right? So being able to just go up to your partner at some point that's convenient and makes sense in the setting and say, hey, this is something I'd like to try, get their feedback. Maybe that's not something they're interested in for whatever reason. And you can kind of dissect and understand your partner a little bit better. So you can kind of bond over that discussion. You know, again, sexual topics or sexuality is so difficult for us to discuss, even with the people closest to us. So it just creates a new opportunity to say, hey, let's try something new and see what kind of reaction your partner gives back to you.
Communication is always the key of having a healthy relationship.
Exactly. And the more you communicate, especially over things that are sensitive like sex, the deeper the connection you can form with your partner.
Forming deeper connections. That's why we're here for.
Absolutely.
Why should new partners consider mutual masturbation?
Mutual masturbation is particularly relevant in new relationships because, again, it's a great way to sort of explore your own body, explore your partner's body, let them know the areas you enjoy, let them know the areas you want them to avoid. But also, it's a much less pressure situation and lower risk than penetrative sex, especially for someone that you're just starting to get to know.
It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a great way to get started exploring each other.
To get intimate with someone.
Exactly.
What are the benefits of mutual masturbation?
So there are a few main areas that we consider to be the most beneficial aspects of mutual masturbation, especially again in new relationships. Number one, it's going to be a great way to open up communication, which we already kind of touched on. Number two, it's going to help to build trust. So you're certainly going to be in a more vulnerable position in that situation. And so being able to kind of be vulnerable with either a new partner or a current partner or a long-term partner, it's going to enhance that trust. And then, of course, opening also the ability for you to discuss your desires and the things you don't like with your partner. And so you can really enhance your sexual experience by saying, hey, I like this more. Can you do this more? I don't like this more. Can you not do this? And so really, mainly, it's about building trust and opening the floor for dialogue about your sex life, which can be really difficult to do for most of us.
It's like any other sexual activity. Communication is important. It's also important to know yourself before expressing what you like to your partner.
Exactly.
And speaking of sex life, can mutual masturbation improve your sex life?
Personally, I believe so. During mutual masturbation, you're obviously going to be exposed with your partner and very vulnerable. So that creates a space where you learn to appreciate your body, you learn to appreciate your partner's body. You see areas maybe that you are a little more ashamed of, and maybe your partner helps you appreciate them more. It also can be a great way to learn each other's erotic zones and what sort of pressure, what sort of force, what sort of tension, friction is best for them to help them reach that next level, especially throughout sex if you're with a partner and it's new, or you're with a partner it's been a long time, things can sometimes get a little stale. And so this can be a way to really take some time to really visualize each other, appreciate each other, and enhance that bonding experience, which really is what sex is about.
Visualize each other and enhance each other. That sounds really good.
Yeah, and some people may not be a big fan. You have to understand it is quite a vulnerable setting, unless
Right.
maybe you turn the lights out and you make everything dark. But the whole point typically is that you are sort of exposed, allowing each other to
Right.
explore, and also being able to kind of feedback on what your partner does in response to what you do. An example being, you may, provide your partner pleasure, and they may say, "Oh, I like that," but you may also pick up on those secondary cues, maybe
Right.
the way that they look or the way that they're responding physically, and can put that in your sort of brain bank for later, so then you can pull out those skills when the time is necessary to really enhance the experience.
I love all the tips and recommendations you're giving us today.
I try.
We're here to learn.
Exactly. And doing a deep dive on mutual masturbation, I've learned a lot.
Can mutual masturbation help with confidence?
The evidence says probably so. So you take two partners who are able to really take some time to understand each other's bodies, see each other's vulnerabilities. That's going to help them accept their bodies more, accept the pleasure that they get from each other more. And of course, that's going to boost their confidence. And what the data does show is the more confident and the higher self-esteem you have, typically the better people say their sex life is. Having a
Ah,
happier sex life usually leads to a more fulfilling relationship and more fulfilling life. So again, this could be a great opportunity to build that confidence, get more comfortable in your body, and get more comfortable with your partner.
and so who benefit from adding this activity into their routine with their partner?
So personally, I think anyone could benefit from adding this into their routine. Again, penetrative sex and some of the more advanced layers of bonding with your partner can sometimes take a lot of time, take a lot
Right.
of preparation, a lot of planning, especially if you're in a long-term relationship and you have things going on. This can be a great, easy way to still be able to bond, be able to explore each other, and have that continued sexual activity throughout your weekday without too much preparation. It's also a great way for new partners to consider, again, exploring each other's body at a much lower risk setting or activity than penetrative sex.
It's a quickie.
It's a quickie. It can
Or not,
be.
yes.
Yeah, you can really make it last as long as you want. And we're going to get into some more details about that shortly.
As long as you're enjoying and having fun, that's all
Yeah,
that matters.
that's what it's about.
Would you say that mutual masturbation is a safer option?
Absolutely. So mutual masturbation is certainly a safer option in regards to the spread of STDs or an infection risk when going into a new encounter with a new partner, or maybe a one-night stand or some type of one-night rendezvous. So if you're considering something that's going to put you at a lower risk, this could be a great option. However, everything does come with some risks. So even mutual masturbation, there are risks for skin-to-skin contact infections like syphilis and HSV or herpes. So you do want to take some precautions, even though it is at a much lower risk than penetrative sex.
Wow, there's still some precautions that need to be taken.
Exactly.
And so what precautions will be helpful?
So first up, ensuring clean hands and clean
Right.
genitalia are going to be a great way to get started. And if you notice that you or your partner has any rashes, lesions, a sore, any sort of exposed cut, you certainly want to consider maybe waiting until that heals, because those areas are going to be the most at risk for developing an infection. And for some of us out there that have high levels of concern, maybe there's a little anxiety present, especially if it's a new encounter, you can consider wearing gloves. There is still some pleasure that you can give to each other wearing gloves. So that is a consideration if you really want to substantially
Right.
reduce any risk during a sexual activity.
And then I just take the gloves off. Job's done.
Job's done. And of course, making sure that you're up to date on your sexual history and being screened for any, infections that could be spread during that process, as well as encouraging your partner to disclose their information as well. But overall, because there's no exchange of bodily fluids, this is going to be a much lower risk activity to consider, especially with a new partner.
Are there any additional benefits?
Another great benefit to mutual masturbation is just going beyond the exploration and the sort of investigation of your partner's body and your own. You can start to also work on techniques to prolong your ejaculation time or ensure that you can have a longer, more satisfying experience. And so getting to learn different techniques, like things we've talked about in the past, the stop-start method, the squeeze method, using those on each other to really sort of enhance and prolong the encounter that you're getting to spend together. For some patients, they don't have a lot of time, or some people out there don't have a lot of time. And so it's going to be a short interaction. But hey, if it's a weekend night and you want to spend a lot of time with your partner, it's a great way to not only enhance your experience and get to know each other's bodies a little bit better, but figure out how you can prolong overall your sexual experiences for the future.
I remember the stop start and the squeeze method we learned here in this channel a few videos ago.
Yeah, is that where you learned them?
Yes, it was. And I hope some of the viewers learn those methods because
Yeah.
they can be helpful.
Exactly. And prolonging your sexual encounters with your partner has proven with clinical evidence to enhance your relationship and
Yeah.
to promote bonding. So consider maybe longer sessions. If you're not quite there yet, consider mutual masturbation to help learn those techniques so you and your partner can take things to the next level. Or if you're in a new relationship or considering a one-night rendezvous, this could be a low-risk activity with some precautions to take
Right.
that will still allow you to enhance and bond with that new person.
Why not? A better sex life means a happier life.
Exactly.
Put it in the water.
Put it in the
Sex
water.
for everybody.
With precautions.
Yes.
I want to thank you for joining us for this video. It was a great topic to discuss, something that I hope maybe you'll consider trying with your partner. But what do you think?
Is that something that you add into your routine? Is it not? Do you already have on your routine?
Leave us some comments below. Let us know what you think of this video and maybe some recommendations for a future video as well. We
Please.
love to hear from you.
Yes.
But if you haven't already,
subscribe, share, like, post, comment, do what you want.
Help us continue to grow this channel
Yes.
because it is so awesome to hear from you in the comments below and realize how much we all have in common. And that's really what the goal of this whole channel was from the beginning. So we look forward to seeing you next week when we discuss another topic. Until then,
bye.
See you later.
I feel there should be a safe word for mutual masturbation. Instead of saying, let's have mutual masturbation, we should say,
let's have
a kiki.
Kinda. Let's have a kiki.